Oh, so let's start the discussions. I have in the studio, just next to me, Richard Nyama is a member of the MPP's communication team, and also with him to help me do the discussion, Joseph Niadekukam is the chairman of NDC Greater Accra.
Good morning.
It's the unofficial big post in the NDC. It's almost like a minister with a portfolio. Oh, that's right. Okay.
You don't need a portfolio to be a minister.
It's a new Hampshire of Ghana, right? Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, New Hampshire. Yeah. Okay, so how are you?
By grace.
I see you look stretched. Is it the economy?
Do I look stressed?
Dollars.
Run away. I'm observing that you look stressed. Is it the economy? If you don't look stressed, you tell me you don't look stressed.
We've run out of dollars.
Or it's just normal work?
Normal work.
Okay.
Normal work.
All right. Okay, there's a story about the Abuazi plant getting shut down, and it also means that we're going to have a lot more power cuts than usually we're currently experiencing. The story is on page 3 of the paper, the Daily Graphic. It's actually also some more media reports following declaration by the Ghana Grid Company that statements put out said repair works on the generator at the Abuazi plant were originally expected to be completed on Sunday, February 16. That hasn't been done yet. So, however, due to some complication, the exercise would now be completed this very weekend. And it said the expansion and maintenance works, which were already ongoing at both the TICO and VRA thermal plants, were expected to be completed by the close of the quarter of this year. And then we're likely to have the current disruptions that we're having. So, well, these are the difficulties. Richard, I have to start with you. It means more light-offs.
Yes. Good morning to your viewers. This is my first time on your program.
Okay. Yes, nice meeting you too.
Oh, I've met you before.
A couple of times. I mean on the set.
On the set, yes.
You don't have to announce that one on the set.
Yes. This issue, as a country, for me, is symptomatic of our failure as a people together. Right from independence, there was a plan. Okay, so the Akosombo was built, and other such plans were supposed to have taken place. We only just managed to commission Bui. Meanwhile, it was on the drawing board under Nkrumah. It looks like government after government, we have failed to plan for the future. We live by the day. And you have a very bleak future if you live that kind of life. Currently, our energy requirement is in the region of 5,000 megawatts. Okay. We are planning to meet that within the next 1 year or so. When we should be looking at having double that amount so that we take care of these mishaps. It's not just the case of the electricity. Today, Accra is virtually shut down because some repair work is taking place at the Ouija. We shouldn't have that. Pong is going to shut down, next week, those of us in Tema are going to have the same issue. But if you had access, you simply tap into the excess to feed this, and whilst the repair work go on. Any other country I know that is developed or developing has such plans in place. These are the key commodities you need for your development agenda to take off. But time after time, we come and sit down and talk about the same problems on TV and radio. And we are very good at talking our problems away. But how to resolve them, we seem to have no clue. But what marvels me in all this is the fact that there seems to be some disconnect and miscommunication by the government. I just on coming heard on Joy News, the Deputy Minister of Energy telling us how by Tuesday all power issues are going to be resolved. Everything is resolved. We're going to have normal supply. In the same news item, you have Greco telling us that we are going to have intense energy
disruptions,
and therefore this thought.
But Richard, I guess this has been clarified. These are ongoing works, and these are technical difficulties that they encountered prior to that very announcement, or just after that very announcement. So, how then do we distinguish between what is technical and what usually should be contingency?
Oh, then it means the minister is not on top of his job.
Meaning what? He gave the interview back on Tuesday, and this one is coming towards the latter part of Wednesday.
They're talking about
and today is Thursday.
They're talking about planned work, and I think he was talking with the T3 issue in mind. Okay, but if T3 was going to come on board, okay, it's going to come at a particular date. If you're talking of Tuesday, fine. But you have a planned work that is also going to bring some disruptions. You should synergize the two before you make any comment. You don't go ahead of yourself, announce that everything is going to be resolved by Tuesday, whilst in your on your desk or in your plans, you have a planned work that is also going to take some energy away. So T3 goes, another goes, comes, another goes. We still have the same situation. So I think the communications team of the government or any person in the position of informing the public should first and foremost gather their facts. Make sure that they are well informed. If it is grid code, they are all under you. Before you go out making any such major statements, you should get your facts right from them. Else, we'll always be in this situation where it seems the government is constantly doing propaganda with the issues. The president speaks, everything is resolved. We don't have energy issues. We used to call him President Doomsaw, but we are back to Doomsaw.
Is it that we didn't prepare, we don't have contingency plan? And if you read a statement, it looks more like these are just technical ongoing works that they have to undertake. And definitely if there are supposed to be disruptions, unless you have more, then you are definitely going to have all these disruptions. Should there be things that we should be reading meanings into?
I think last week or so we came here and spoke about the same subject, about power, even not in your studio, maybe somewhere else. I feel that this has been going on for a very long time, and it's a result of institutional failures. You know, my brother here alluded to the time of our independence. Population then was about 6 million when we had independence. I think 6 million or less, right? And you know, population grew at about 2.5% over the years, per annum, over the years, you know. So you should anticipate that in the year, say, 2000, or from 1955, 1957, and 10 years thereafter, another 10 years, progressively, you know, population will be increasing. So those who were put in charge of various...
They failed us.
They failed us.
Wow. So now, what do we do so that we don't fail the future?
Now, we are facing challenges. The economy is facing challenges. So what we are doing now is something called ad hoc measures. Because we need massive investment, huge investment in the power sector. All of us know that, right? Our failure to do that, right, will compound this situation year on to come. What we have to do now is, like all of us are agreed, that we need to add capacity, we need to add more power to the system so that the excess will be available for us to, when we are doing technical or whatever repairs, there will be enough power to go out. I mean, that's the bottom line, that we have to go back. I keep saying that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to add to the wheel. We need to invest more in the power sector. That will enable us to have more industries. You see, it's a what do you call it? It's a catch-22 situation. You need power to prepare the industrial sector of your economy, right, to be able to cut down the imports and increase your export, for your currency and all those things to have value. So it's a cycle that we need. So I agree with you that when people are making statements, they should be very, because you don't need to excite the populace, right? And then the president last year made tremendous effort to ensure that we don't find ourselves in this situation doom so. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves in the same situation. And it adds to the frustration in the system. This is not the fault of the president. People have been given jobs to perform, and they should be up to the task. They should anticipate.
Okay, so you're saying that we shouldn't read political meanings into that?
No. This is a situation where I keep saying, if you are going to read political meaning into everything, we will not move forward. Rightly said, he alluded to past governments who have come. It's not today. This power situation is not of today's making. If you leave something for so many years, you come to reap it. So we have to go back and say, look, we have to ensure that we invest heavily into the power sector. Because population, 10 years hence, what will be the population? Now even we say we are 25 million. I mean, I don't even, because I was not counted on the day of the census, so I'm sure it's 25 million.
Well, there's always a margin of error, so you always included
yes. So if we bring the people from diaspora to add to us here, we will go about 30 million, and we don't have that facility, that power
to accommodate.
So it shows you what we need to do.
But these are real difficulties that, as a country, we've faced over the decades, Richard. The consensus is that we have to increase energy generation, adopt more sustainable means, but additional mechanisms for generating power. Now, there's always a concept about having independent power producers. And if we have independent power producers, we have to be realistic. It means we should be ready to pay more.
Yeah, I think ultimately that is where we're going to head. We cannot continue to be in the situation where we are, that the government is going to supply us everything at a very cheap cost. Point is that if we are in the labor market and there's no monopoly over this, at the end of it, forces of demand and supply would determine the price, and the price would, in the long run, also reduce. But I think as a people, we are not even bold enough to take that step. It's a sector that is very huge, that can bring a lot of money. It's an area I think we should let the private sector in, and on a very huge scale. Let them, those companies that can produce 5,000, 10,000 megawatts at a go, produce it. Let companies tap into it. Because people are, you're talking about private companies and the private sector. They have had to put up generators and run them at a very high cost. Behind my company, there's a bank or so that has had to install this very huge
and each time there's a power cut.
Yes, and look, they are using the biggest
generator.
No, the tank. What do you call it? This
the gas tank.
No, the tank for water.
The polytank.
Polytank, the biggest I've ever seen. That is what is standing there with fuel. Yes, that is how serious the matter is, because their systems would have to continuously run. Now, if this person is supposed to pay a bit more and cut out this diesel, they're going to have to buy
all those inconveniences and the financial burden.
Because you look at the fact that every year or every 4 years we seem to have this doom so situation. Our economic downturn, we go down the slope when it happens, and then once it's resolved or calms down, we're struggling to climb up the mountain. We get there and then we are dropping. So it's a cyclical problem, and I think that if the solution is to get the private sector involved, let's do that. Let's find a way of synergizing the cost aspect for the two. At the end of the day, I think the forces of demand and supply would stabilize the price.
Mr. Adekoka, if we take a look at the coming in of independent power producers, what has made them very much non-effective or ineffective is because we've not had consistent supply of what will power their plants. That's the gas.
That's one, and also the pricing.
Then we have to talk about the price. As for the pricing, we have to agree as a country that really we need to pay real rates.
That's what happened the last time. What happened the last time that the power producers tried to increase the prices? I mean, the whole country was agog with a fire.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's the problem. We rightly said, for a long time, we've been used to subsidies. We've been used to getting petrol at subsidized prices. We've been used to getting power, water, and all the. And even some people even don't pay; they get it for free, and then that's the result of what we are facing now. So there must be a holistic attitude towards all the various services that we require in this country, and the mindset must change. You are right. The more independent power producers that come in, the more the supply and demand will enable the prices to come down. But if it's a monopoly, like we're having a situation of Gridco and VRA, they are forced to increase the price because they need money to do investment. So it's a catch-22 situation.
How do we make sure we undertake the argument devoid of whatever political connotations there are?
Yeah.
Because when these comes to the crunch, it's always an issue of politics.
That is the problem.
And the government of the day wants to save its face.
That's the problem.
Doesn't want to take the risk.
That's the problem.
But these are real risky situations and decisions that need to be made.
Yeah, because in this country, if you touch water, one will determine the color of the water.
But not only water, salaries. Salaries of public sector workers.
You understand? So
now we see that it's a very huge thing as
well. That's right. So unless we get the mindset out of thinking that NDC is going to increase, or the providers are going to increase utility prices. NPP, let me go and criticize them so that the people will come and vote for me in the next election. If we stop that and look at it holistically, as I said, then we'll after the doomsday, when it comes, it doesn't distinguish between which party you belong to or which family you belong to. All of us go to sleep in the darkness. So we have to look at it nationalistically, and that is the way we can.
Roland, I think there's a way forward too. There are those companies, industries, individuals who will be prepared to pay the price, the right price, but have a continuous, consistent, reliable supply.
Yes, but they are in the minority.
You would be shocked.
They don't influence public opinion.
Look, a week ago, I had a power problem in my office, and we have to use generator, and every day we're buying 100 Ghana cedis for 5 days.
That's 500.
That's 500 Ghana.
Yes, and that probably is his whole year's electricity bill.
Really understand.
Yes. In 5 days.
Yes.
No, it's not his whole year. Now it can't happen.
You never know.
I mean,
you never know. How much does it pay a month? Probably, let's take it that.
Oh, maybe
his is 100 Ghana.
Oh, looking
or 200.
No,
that would be a month.
Yeah.
You're talking of a
week. Perhaps maybe 2 months or something.
Yes. Yeah. But that aside, what I'm driving at is this. If we put the option there, you have consistent, reliable supply. This is the supplier of it. They provide you. Look, once we start having the Dumso, and it's the cheapest one, we all want to feed into the main one. Because at the end of the day, the cost of the Dumso is higher than this one. Because point is, my electrical gadgets are getting bent. I'm changing bulbs every week. You never know, your house might even get bent by the time you go back home, and you have no home to live in. And so I think we should also be strategic. There's a debate, there's some politicization going on. To some extent, there's even price fixing when it comes to this, because when the tripartite committee sits down, we end up determining the price for the producers. Okay? When we should allow demand and supply forces to do that. Now, let's channel this into, okay, we have options. There's choices that you have Dumso, these people will supply you. You would have a reliable supply. Let's go through this. At the end of the day, all come back. So let the choice and options should be also made available. Let the private independent producers come in, put the assistance in place. You'll be surprised that majority of the companies will turn to them for it. And to cut down the pressure on the other one, the government or...
Okay, so we all have agreed that we need to make the sacrifices and then the best decisions.
Yeah.
Is government ready to make those bold decisions?
We have to. I mean, we have to.
When government is getting all the negative...
Government, that was the reason why government said, look, let's pay the realistic prices. And it was started over January. I mean, the government took a bold decision on that. And we had to take a flag for it, you know. So, like you said, let's take the politics out to look at the reality on the ground. That's as simple as that.
Okay. And let's go to Parliament. The TDC is denying demolishing 500 buildings as being purported by the residents there and also the Member of Parliament for the area, Tama West, because the TDC boss, Joe Abe, appeared before the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing. He said that they pulled down only 65 houses, and he even dared all those evictees who have been affected that if you feel that you have the rightful papers, please come, we'll pay you compensation. What do you make of all this and his subsequent appearance? It's as if the TDC is having a very bold stance because it has the law on its side.
Again, it is institutional failure on the part of TDC. The last time we were here, I said, why did they sit down for this to happen? Invariably, you go there, these people were having electricity supply, they were having water supply, they were even having roads constructed. So what happened? People went to sleep. As we sit here now, there's a place in Ashalibotri where Gridco and VRA reserve lands, right? Gridco and VRA reserve land, people have gone to build another pylons. As we sit here now, they've gone to build another pylons. And this one also was coming, there was a news item on TV, early morning, early news, and even children, there's an orphanage there where children are learning under the pylons.
And these emit radioactive waves.
So we'll go back to the square one. Whether it's 65 houses or 500 houses, that is not the issue. The issue is that when you have the state has given you something, take good care of it. Protect it as if it is your own. That is not what we are doing.
So pure institutional failure.
Yeah, so whether 65 or 500 houses, I'm not here to debate that issue. In the first instance, why should we sit down for this kind of things to happen? And as we are sitting here now, it is happening all over the place. And at the end of the day, then you come and sit here and say, what, government? No. People have been put in places to do their job, and they should be up and coming.
Okay. There's a quote here from a member of Parliament, who is also, I believe, a member of the committee, Enoch Mensa, MP for Ningo Prakram. He said educating the people on the need to secure relevant permits before putting up buildings was crucial. He said the incident at Ajekujo was very much unfortunate and should not be allowed to occur in any parts of the country again. But since then, we've had a number of demolition. We have Ajen Kotoku. We've had the demolition that's taking place in Kumasi, at the Shemai. These are just private developers who also want to have their land backs and all that. So how do we streamline this? We seem to be having a very chaotic environment.
Roland, seriously, the point E.T. Mensa made is, for me, very relevant. And I think the Lands Commission, the Ministry of Works and Housing, need to be up and doing in that direction. Look, virtually every land in Accra has been bought and sold. I'm telling you.
More than once.
More than once.
In Accra and Tama, yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean the region.
Yes.
The region. And I'm going to give you a practical example. A friend wanted to buy a property. And I was like, you know what? Halt it. Because it was like, oh, a hot cake, and then the people were asking, no, Master Accra live by plan. This person trying to sell this thing to you and it's on your neck, you bring this much, I suspect there's something. So let's get into it. We went and paid for this thing at the Lands Commission for them to do a search. Yes. And the results came a week later. Saying that, yes, it had an issue in 2004. The matter has been resolved, but the rightful owner was not the one that was about selling the property. Okay, someone else sold that property out. Now, for me to buy land or any sort of landed property in this country, first and foremost, make contact with the Lands Commission. Let them determine there's no issue. And also find out the processes you will take to register that land or property rightfully in your name. Because this issue about, I listened to the TDC yesterday, and it's come out that those who bought the land or supposedly bought it are claiming they bought the property from the chiefs, but do not have the rightful documents to cover. Theirs is that we bought the land from the chiefs. The chiefs were supposed to do the documentation for us, so that is it. We have bought the land. But that is where you want to live the rest of your life.
In Ghana, we buy land from chiefs all the time.
You see,
but you have to do your documents, not the chief.
Even if you go and buy the land from the chief, you would have to go to the rightful agencies to do that and get the documentation. Now, from the interview, I gathered that these people are in a fix. If we're going to go it legalistically, they have no case. But there was exchange of money and land. So for me, if the chief is the rightful owner of the land, and now that is the contention, TDC is saying the land belongs to the government. And so the chief may have been selling the land to you wrongly. These are the issues that we have. But for me too, there's a drastic suggestion I'm going to make as a way of getting this thing resolved. TDC and whoever was in charge, they sat down and this whole process started. They tilled the land and and did everything and put property on it. You were reneged on your duty. What I would suggest is that if you are breaking down this property, whoever is in that line that is supposed to have stopped it should also have their property broken down. So that at the end of the day, you see how it feels. Because, no, seriously, in Ghana, unfortunately, we have to buy the land and put up the building outside. It's also part of the problem. Elsewhere, you have the mortgage system working properly. If it is 50 years, it is 50 years. It's not a drain on your mega salary, monthly salary. It is 50 years,
so
25 years. Yes, you don't. It doesn't. You buy a property in the UK for about £200,000. It's a 25-year at least.
It's spread over.
Spread over. Here, 5 years. You have to pay half. And then you fail to pay 1 month, 2 months, the third month, they come and take the property. So actually the estate owners are looking for you not to actually be able to pay. So they'll put impediments in your way.
Repossession.
Repossess it and sell it to another person who would end up not paying, and the cycle continues. So going forward, I think government should sit down, put a proper strategy in place. Let's have the list you would have for mortgage systems being 25 years. Then a payment system and structure is put in place. And everybody can afford. Then the properties will be well planned, well structured. And I don't have to go and queue to buy the land because it's all sorted out. And the property is done.
Well, then it still means that we need to have proper streamlining. But so far, we've not had, let's say, chiefs even prosecuted before the court for perhaps being negligent or undertaking any sort of, or being held liable for any sort of all these activities, which seem to be very much criminal. Because you can't sell properties with somebody, collect the money, spend the money, and go and sell that same property while you know that same property has been sold to somebody else.
You are right. You are right. You know,
they are going scot-free.
They are going scot-free. And when you go to the land court in Accra, got cases that have been there for 20, 30, 50 years.
Really?
I have a case in the court now on the land issue. But somebody I put on my land, and then the person became the rightful owner. The person turned around and said, I bought it from somebody else. Well, I personally put the person on the land. That's not Chimota here. And we are in court. And it's been dragging on. And the other side, the other family say the whole of Achimota belongs. Look, I mean, it's chaotic. I think probably, if it's not too late in the day, right? I believe all lands must be vested in government. I believe so.
That'll be a whole tango that will also go. Which government can do that?
The government is also part of the problem.
No. Yeah, well, you see, no.
Well, in England, I guess the lands are vested in the state.
The Queen.
Yes. The Queen.
If you only go to
the monarch.
If you go to,
so you can't buy any land.
If you go to Ashanti,
don't buy like
if you go to Ashanti region, the land, all lands that Ashanti is invested on 2 4.
Good.
So it's there. So it's not new. That's why the wheel has not been, it's not being reinvented.
Yeah, but the Ghanaian state or government has over the years failed. It hasn't functioned properly.
So they can't be trusted.
So they can't also be trusted. They are just like the chiefs.
Well, because they are afraid they may share the land among their cronies.
Well,
When your party comes to power, for example, which is normal, you get some tenure.
So we have a problem at hand.
Yes. And so for me, going forward, let's agree that this is a particular structure that we'll use to acquire land. Let's remove individuals and chiefs from actually building the structure.
No. For so long as the land and the custody of the chiefs, one family will come and issue a document. When you are dead and gone, the children also will come and will come.
Actually, you attempt vesting all lands in Ghana under the government today and see if your government will survive today. That's the problem.
I want us to look at yesterday the Electoral Commission appeared before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, and there was something that came up. They said they would not be in a position to organize district level elections, and we want to discuss that.
They said so. They said money should be the money should be made available.
Yes, quickly, so that they can.
Don't say that way.
Okay, but I want us to look at IOCO to enforce ban on foreign pricing of currencies, and that's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. It says the IOCO will from Monday, that's next week Monday, dispatch a task force to enforce the Bank of Ghana's ban on pricing of goods and services in foreign currencies and all that. What's the meaning of that, Adekoka?
No, is that the job of IOCO?
Well, now all this is being...
crime.
I mean,
it's an economic crime, so I think so.
Bank of Ghana they've issued a directive that hotels, companies should not...
the last week you were here and you made some pronouncements, especially because you have been a main player in the business as well. Yeah. Looking at precedent and hindsight, do you think that taking this very measure in any way helps at all?
Like what?
The measure of making people open certain or not open certain.
Oh, they've reversed it.
Yes, I know that. But yes, but in terms of the pricing and
the price, as for pricing of goods in local currency, it should be done. That one, we can't compromise on that, right? I mean, look, what is going to happen is that maybe every day you change your pricing. That is probably what will happen. Or maybe you set your price for a week, and then after they
change that because you're quoting in Ghana.
That's right. You're quoting in Ghana. That is probably what will happen, right? But then, for them to go around to see whether the person has written dollar on the goods or not, I think that is not the way to go about it.
And that's what they want to do from next week Monday.
I think, for me, Ghanaians hotels are going to, when you go now, they put their prices in the local currency. But then, every week they're going to review it. I mean, you cannot stop them. If the dollar falls, they also have to review it. So this is something that one would say, is it feasible to be done, right? But if we change the minds, if we all agree, the attitude of everything depends on me and you. If we go to the shop and the thing is priced in dollars,
and you
question it, right? Look, why are you? And I'm not going to give you dollars. I'm going to give you cedis. You'll be forced to price it. You go to the hotel, they put dollars. They say, I'm not paying dollars. I'm paying cedis. So it's up to us to work the system.
Roland, I think the issue of enforcement has always been, these laws they're talking about,
they're in the books.
They've always been in the books.
So they've just been resuscitated.
Ghana has all the
just
laws
regurgitation.
Yes, we have all the laws under the sun. And I'm telling you, at the bottom of our underdevelopment is our lawlessness.
Yes.
If we are able to get us as a people to abide by the law, we'll fix half of our problems.
That's all.
I have not seen any developed country where lawlessness is the order of the day. This country, actually, those who are supposed to enforce the law.
You say a developed country? Ukraine, are they developed or they're?
Ukraine?
There's lawlessness there.
No. You see, they are having some sort of...
Some political lawlessness.
There's some force to change government. That is different from It's our daily life to break traffic rules, to dump rubbish, to not obey the law as in this one. My point is, I haven't seen any country anywhere you have two currencies cohabitating. In Ghana, we are running the country based on the dollar and the cedi. And where the dollar is stronger than the cedi, we would all end up relying on the dollar. Okay. And so, for me, if it's the decision of the government to go by this, they should do it right. But how long? Do they have the structures to ensure that it is adhered to?
That's why we have Yoko. Yoko will from next week undertake inspections at hotels, forex bureaus, shops, and all other bodies that quote prices in foreign currency to ensure that the directives are complied with.
With forex bureaus, they are buying and selling dollar.
they are legitimate business.
I think what we need to do is to beef up the enforcement aspect and not make it a 9-day wonder. Because what happens is this: Iyoko goes out 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, everything is stabilized. Then we go to sleep. When it re-emerges, we will have the same directives given again. Then Iyoko will start working. It should be a constant thing. You are assigned A, B, C, D hotels. It is part of your job description on each day to come and give account of what is happening there for the rest of your life until someone else takes that job. That is how countries are run and run properly. Beyond that, at the bottom of this, seriously, is the debts that the government has acquired for us. And Uncle Ade, you need to check that. The point is that we are overspending our.
Adepuka is not in government. The way you're making it.
No. He is government.
We'll come to the politics. I used to relax. Richard.
The point is this.
Okay, I want us to change the subject.
No. It's very important.
We've had a very good
civil.
But I'm being very frank with you. If the debt,
it is not the debt.
If we are acquiring debts of 1.1 billion monthly,
Richard,
that is from the local system. Naturally, Uncle, let me make the economic argument here. We are sucking, it's like a vacuum cleaner, sucking the money
the liquidity in
the economy.
That's
if we were bringing it from outside, better. But internally, you suck all the money from the banks. There's no money in the system.
Richard,
So people are forced to do what they
Roland, just a second. Our problem in this country, right, is our balance of trade. You see, look, we import more than we export. It doesn't matter if your economy is vibrant, if you've cut down the imports, right, and you are doing a lot of export. If you stop these second-hand fridges, toothpick, those kind of things, right, there'll be enough money in the system that what you are talking about will be relevant.
You need to think outside the box.
Yes.
Look, that brings me to Dr. Kofi Amwe's suggestion.
What did he say? You should export.
Look, yes, you see, yes, that is where I'm coming.
Yes.
The wastage that is being created. GIDA, for instance, has had 1.3 billion pounds into it. Ghana cedis. At the rate when that program started, in today's monies, we're talking about 700 million United States dollars. If we had such a three-pronged approach from the beginning, that we are going to focus on agriculture, we put in, let's say, $300 million of that money into agriculture. When it comes to manufacturing, we are putting 400 million of it to process it. Then you and I will not be talking about balance of.
So we know. I think we have the solutions.
Yes, the solutions are there, but the government is failing to think outside the box.
Okay.
We are doing things the easy way.
Talking about government, this is assembly level elections to delay. That is if they don't get all the allocations on time. Right?
Yeah,
that's what I heard him say yesterday. No, but you know the way the papers report to delay. So it means allocation needs to go to the.
That's so. I mean, this happens every year.
No, but it means that the allocation needs to go.
They've sent a signal, right? Even elections. Anytime we're going to have elections, they will tell us that if the money does not come quickly, elections will not. But eventually, the money comes, elections take place. So, for one, is what?
To be forearmed. To be forewarned.
What is to be forearmed?
So
I think that is how we should look at it.
Okay. Now let's do politics. I think I have about 40 minutes. I love politics. New crusading guy.
Richard loves politics.
Daboche has gone wild. And yesterday I've heard and read a couple of his comments as well. And yesterday he was on Kosi saying on, I think, Asempa also.
Daboche?
Yes.
Okay.
He said recent utterances in the media about Dr. Nyahotamaklo are not only gross violations of the party's code but also embarrasses the party. He says for you to be singing the song of your opponent, better join them. It means you don't wish us well. What did he mean by that, Richie Nyama?
First and foremost, I even have...
He said he's supposed to be a founding member of the party, right?
Founding member of... Look, you see, the membership of any member or of any person of a party or a club is not indefinite. It is based on... it's not permanent.
I thought it's based on allegiance and your likeness and your sympathies.
But there are certain conditions. For instance, you would have to be a paid-up member to be considered seriously. Okay? That is why when it comes to elected positions, like I am standing currently, I've had to be vetted and see, and I was asked for proof that I have paid all my dues to the MPP.
Which position are you running for?
The National Youth Organizer position. I had to show proof to that. Now, if you are a supposed leading member of the MPP, and since 2008 you have not paid up, you have not attended any of the meetings, I have doubts of your membership.
Are you alluding to him?
Yes, Dr. Nyahotamaklo.
And as a result of that?
And you see, I would challenge your house. If the MPP headquarters is not very far from here, there's an office. You would go, they have the membership and all those who have paid up. And I would challenge you to see if Dr. Nyahotamaklo's name is there. Because of his history and allegiance or former links with the party, he has constantly spoken out as if that is the current situation. Where you have Dr. Nyahotamaklo talking constantly, anything he says about the MPP seems very negative on a constant basis. On the flip side, even considering the mess in which we are, this economy, Dr. Nyahotamaklo sees everything good. And you see what? He was trapped in an interview the day before yesterday, and I felt very sorry for him. He was asked, I know the president is his cousin. Yes. Point is that, yes, he was asked. That is the point I'm coming to. That he was asked if he was given a position today.
Are you saying people of the same family can belong to different political
Oh, they
traditions?
do belong. And I know where you are coming from. Abu Jinapor has proven over the period that he's a member of the MPP, and I have no doubt about him. Dr. Nyahotamaklo has not proven same. You go to his office, you have MDC memorabilia and that of the president on his desk. When you ask him that if he's given an office or a position, an ambassadorial position, will he accept it? And he tells you that it depends on where the post is. He's probably thinking of how juicy it is. So he would obviously consider it. Such a person cannot convince me that he's still a member of the MPP. And when we are in economic hardships, and even NDC ministers are saying that things are out of control, Dr. Nyahotamaklo still sees everything very rosy with it, and yet comes and talks about tribalism in the MPP. When you go to the list of all chairmen, from the beginning of the MPP to date, if you take the Daroches to date, there's never been an Akan heading the party. So where is this tribal issue coming from? I understand Paul's issue.
No, I didn't was the chairman.
No.
Yeah.
There's never been an Akan chairman.
Over Darocha, those Sykes.
Yes, it comes on the majority of them are Ghans. So when you go on that tangent, you are virtually giving some ammunition that does not exist to the opposition. He's taking up Paul Afoko's fight. I think Paul is competent enough.
There's been an account, Peter McBain.
Peter McBain.
Peter McBain.
One account.
Peter McBain from Western Region.
He's been the only exception.
Will you call it a can?
Oh, it's an account.
No.
Okay, if you want to stretch it that far. But point is,
not mainstream.
Yes, you can't.
But he's an account. I mean, according to the classification, he's an account.
Fine. Point is that Paul Afoko has a very competent team. I believe in his competence.
But
I don't see anything going amiss.
Really?
But
His vetting has been suspended. You don't think it's
No,
something you
see,
have to be worried about?
No,
the supporters have gone on consistently
that is where I have a
putting
problem.
statements in the media.
Yes, the supporters are going overboard. I've I've spoken with Gabi on this issue. When this matter first
Who's
came,
Gabi?
Gabi Ochredako.
He's a member of the committee vetting?
No, Gabi is out of the jurisdiction.
Okay, so why are you speaking on the subject?
No, the gentleman went on air and pinned this issue on Gabi that there is an email trail on a specific date and a specific time.
We know that.
Yes, but that is untrue. When you do this to yourself, at the end of the day, you give ammunition to the other side. Gabi has had to call Paul himself and tell him that, look, I can swear on my life that all this that is being said about me is not true. In actual fact, I would want you to go through this to prove to the world that the MPP is an all-embracing party. And so and he's put it on his wall. He does not see the sense in why the committee in the first place would bring this on us. And so he's blaming the vetting committee.
Well, it's because there's a petition, and
if
the content of the petition makes you feel...
It has to be looked at. So. But my point is that the media is not going to resolve our problems for us. So bringing it out here and having a dogfight in the media is rather worsening the situation. I am contesting. Mike Lampon is contesting. Samuel Ewuku is contesting. You don't hear as the youth, the young ones, taking a go at each other.
So what do you mean? That
and so
you are more...
Sometimes I feel scandalized when our elders are doing what they are doing to us and the party. And so I feel like, look, they've had their day and they want to crumble the bread for us.
Mind your comments. And now...
No, I'm serious about it. And if they go on that way, we may have to show them by example that we...
Mind your comments.
They should be decent. Please.
Now yours will be coming as far as the NDC is concerned. It's predicting doom, but as political parties, when you have some of these difficulties coming before you, how do you think that, well, as leadership and as members who want to be of good standing, want to show the way, what should be the best behavior practice?
You see, for me, anybody in the NPP attacking Nyahota Maklo is making a very big mistake.
Nyahota Maklo?
Very, very big mistake.
Who has attacked him?
I mean, Richard here probably does not know much about Nyahota Maklo.
Saying that he's NDC. He's trying to purport that he's NDC.
I'm trying to tell him.
He can't be NDC.
No, but if Nyahota Maklo has the right to say what he says, what makes mine an attack?
No, relax.
He says the MPP, the composition of the vetting committee is an account party.
He has been,
and I have checked through the record books that show that he's not a paid-up member of the MPP.
Okay, Richard, we haven't finished the discussion, so let Adekoko have his turn.
Richard, you cannot say that Nyahota Maklo is not the paid.
Richard, please restrain yourself. Richard, please.
It is.
Richard, please.
He's just taking me off my track. If he's not paying his dues, it's a different matter. But these are the founding members, founding fathers of the MPP. Way back when they started Dankwa Buzia group.
When they resurrected it.
They resurrected it. And it goes beyond that.
Yes. There's a lot of history behind.
But even
Nyaho attempted a coup against the guy because of
all these beliefs.
All these beliefs, you know. So his position in a place that he can speak his mind and speak it properly, because the Darochas are gone, the Ejenim Boatins are gone. The Udresaks are now old, they can't come over. The Peter Lajetes are gone. These are the people who will tell the youth of today what the MPP stands for. Reku Broby speaks and they suspend him. Nyahota Maklo speaks and they want. But when the youth are speaking and insulting their elders, nobody calls them to go. And that is where the problem is. The youth of today must appreciate that the politics that they are venturing into has got a long rope for them, and that if their elders speak, they should sit down carefully and listen to it, and not go on the tangent of we have come of age. No, you haven't come of age, my brother. You haven't come of age.
Okay. No. I want to ask a question.
You haven't come of age. You are now learning the ropes.
Adekoka, let's look at his comments.
Yes.
I think even before his latest comments,
Yes.
the concern he's had
Yes.
is that the usual free range and the rights that has always been upheld within the party of people being given the opportunity to air their views is now being curtailed.
That's right. That's what I said.
And for him, that is a concern.
That's what I said, yes.
And then the latest one he has was that, I guess the import of what he's saying was that, for example, if you form a vetting committee and supposedly because of the membership and because of public opinion and people's perceptions, it doesn't tend to clarify and give a certain thorough understanding and clarity, then you tend to compound the already perception.
That's right.
You think it's wrong?
Yeah, I see, because, no, what he said is right. But apparently, the composition of their vetting committee is based on their constitutional right. So
it's all entrenched on the constitution.
So maybe that is what they
but the law was made for man, not
so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm coming to. That is probably what they should look at, right? So that it doesn't give a semblance of a particular tribe being the sole membership of that committee, right? Politics is dynamic. It's not static. As we grow along, as we move along, that things come on board. So if you had brought that to their attention, it is proper for them to revisit it and look at the merits or the demerits of the thing. But to attack him and say that he's an NDC man, he's a NDC, we will gladly welcome Nyahota Maklo. No, let me land.
We don't have all the time to land.
We will gladly welcome His Excellency Nyahota Maklo.
Please offer him an ambassadorial position, and I'm sure he'll take it. The point is this. Dr. Nyahota Maklo has the right to speak his mind. And so do I. And so does Dambuche. When he says
that's true,
A, B, C, D, and I counter it and mine is an attack, I don't get it. I'm challenging his membership. And I'm saying that if he is a member as he says, he should show us proof that he's a paid-up member of the NPP.
He's a founding member.
Founding member, you don't just found the party and go and sleep. The party needs money to run.
He has been very active
Beyond that, look, when you come and look at the composition he's talking about, is the various committee heads.
We'll come that.
Even the head
we
of
haven't
the
finished.
vetting committee.
I have to do news on the air, Richard.
Who comes from
Richard Nyama, I have to do news on the air. Well, we have to do news on the air, so the latest headlines we have.
Oh, is that... Are we done?
Ahead of next week's advertised 4-day water supply disruptions for residents in Accra, well, many of them still have to deal with the ordeal of some acute water shortages being experienced in pockets of the capital. The Ghana Water Company explains this is because of ongoing works to mitigate the impact of the planned disruption and also a burst pipe that is currently being repaired. And so far, those repairs have not yet been completed, and so residents would have to endure some level of shortages before the main one is experienced next week. Well, we'll still have to remain with utilities. And the Ghana Grid Company is warning of a worsening power supply situation for electricity consumers. The ongoing load shedding is set to get worse because of an emergency shutdown of another generator at the Volta River Authority's thermal plant at Abuaze in the western region. Gridco's announcement comes 24 hours after the Deputy Minister of Energy, John Jinapo, had said that the ongoing load shedding would have ended by midday Tuesday 19th of February. Well, that never really happened. But as a result of there's been some level of contradictions because the head of public relations at Gridco, Albert Kwesi has confirmed, on the contrary, that there will be some non-availability of supply because of some current problems they are having with their generators. So. Wow. So those are the latest news headlines we have. I guess some bad timing for consumers as well. We've discussed that already. But we'll have to continue with the discussion. And Richard Nyama, who is a member of the MPP's communication team, but also one of the aspirants for that very position of youth organizer of the MPP, was making comments that have been made by Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, who is a founding member of the MPP.
Yes, I'm saying that he has the right to make his comments. And most of his comments about the MPP and its leadership has been very unsavory. If that is not an attack on the MPP, and I have some, at least I am privileged to dig into the documents, and I find out that he's not even a paid-up member. And I say it. What makes it an attack?
Do you think that when you because you will be in a leadership position, or you are a leader, a youth leader of the party, yes, when you make such remarks about somebody who is supposed to be a leader of the party, whether he's paid up or not, is recognized as such, do you think these remarks tend to inure to the benefit of the party and create that level of camaraderie that everybody will want to seek?
No, he's got the right to run down the party, and I don't have the right to put out what his credentials are in the party. He needs to be known for who he is. Point is that if you would grant a 30-minute interview to a radio station, and the import of that interview is that you would want an ambassadorial position in this government, but it depends on where you are being sent. I seriously have doubts about your allegiance to the party that you are espousing.
Is this serving the country or he's serving the government? Which one is it?
You see, if he is going to be appointed and he belongs to the MPP, actually the NDC government would have to be in consultation with us. You can't just on your own choose that you are taking Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo and give him an ambassadorial position. You would have to consult.
What's wrong with that? I thought we were supposed to be having an all-inclusive political space.
Yes. Even if it's an all-inclusive, the person on their own just don't, because you are working for a particular party that has an ideology and way of doing things. If they give you consent, I don't think that if we wanted to use anyone in the NDC, the person would just come on board without consulting the NDC leadership. You would have to do that.
But not to
So when he gives you the impression that everything is okay on the governing side, but everything is so bad on the opposition side, I think we also have the right to take a go. And I'm telling you, it is fair comment. I have not in any way maligned his person.
I know, Richard, I'm not saying you've maligned his person, but if you look at the stature of Nyaho Tamaklo in your politics,
yes,
Roland rightly said, if you say certain things, right, you use certain adjectives on him, it gives your party a very bad impression. Look, these are the few elders of your party that is left. You look at NPP now.
The vetting committee is headed by one of the major founders of the NPP, CK Tedem.
I'm coming.
Tedem is not a Southerner. He's from the Upper East region.
I alluding the fact that many...
They are reducing the man to nobody.
90% of your vetting team is made up of a particular... But I want to go to your constitutional provision. If that had enabled that situation to occur, all that you need to do is to revisit it, look at it and say, look, is what the man saying right or wrong? Rightly so, Tedem can be the chairman of the committee. But when it comes to the majority of the people sitting on the table, and he alluded to the fact that they are from a particular tribe.
Unfortunately, that is not the case.
Well,
if he had put the names and persons on the committee out,
let me put the names.
Okay.
CK Tedem is the national chairman, and he's from
Upper East.
Okay. Most Reverend Dr. Asante Entry from...
I don't know where he's from.
Asante Reduction.
No,
okay.
but not by the name, please.
Dr. J. Bewa. He's also a member of the committee, and Brigadier Joseph Odey.
These are the regional balance is involved.
Yes,
here.
of course. No, but these are representatives of committees within the party. That's what the constitution says.
Right.
And Kwabna Sapong. We have Ayuko Otu. And then we have Ajay Mensah Kosa, just by virtue of his position. Yes.
And Ajay Mensah Kosa comes from the Poor Half region.
Yeah.
What makes this committee an account committee? That is the first question. So the man is up to mischief. That is my point. This committee is not account dominated. And so I won't have it.
You see,
what is informing this conclusion?
You see,
and that is why Dr. Amwakutufor has rightly put it on the front page as the front page of the Ghanaian Observer has it, proof that MPP is not an account party. And, well, he gave a full detail as to how the committee members were formed. And he said that, according to Dr. Amwakutufor, the first person to be chairman of the New Patriotic Party was the late Bernard Yao Darocha, who was a Fanti. After him came the late Peter Lajete Egan. Peter McMahon was the only person considered an Ashanti. And after his tenure, Haruna Eseku, a Fanti, took over. Jacob Ejebilamti Egan, and that's the current leader as they have it by Chairperson.
You granted that what he's saying is true. The party has structures. If he really has the MPP at heart, will he put it out in the media? You are a founding member. You claim you are a founding member.
So you think that whatever difficulty he has to revert to the party? Mr. Adekoka,
NDC is not doing that.
Is that not the right thing to do?
That? I think on that score, I will agree with him.
Yes.
I will agree with him that it is very important that most of the time parties matters are dealt internally, right? When we go out there, you allow people
like me to take a go.
My brother here to take a go at an elderly person whom I think I have a lot of respect for, right? So sometimes we need also to pull the brakes and look at it internally than giving a president as but it's good for us to enjoy the fight that is going on in this.
But yours is coming, though. So far, how are you preparing? You have a certain gentleman, Manly Spain, who wants to contest you. He hasn't picked that nomination form yet because you haven't opened the nomination.
You see, NDC, we haven't opened nomination. So what we are talking about, for me, is a non-starter. Because when the doors are open, you will see those who are mosquitoes and those who are flies that will enter the race. So for the moment, let us NDC. We are.
This is made of mosquitoes and flies.
So that'll be it for our discussion this morning. The gentleman in your picture there, Joseph Niade Koka. Okay, now.
They've taken out of the shot.
He's the chairman of the NDC for Greater Accra. He's being contested by a certain gentleman. There's
no competition.
I said there's no competition.
He wants to occupy all the leaders.
The New Hampshire of both parties.
That's right.
Greater Accra. And then we also have Richard Nyama. He's contesting for that very position that is vital to the two main parties in Ghana. The National Youth Organizer position.
I wish him all the best of luck.
And he's also a member of the NPP's communication team. Thanks for joining us this morning, Richard.
Thank you.
And the first time I've met him, and
he seems like a very well-groomed gentleman.
Very sober, not on the attack.
No, he's always on attack. When he's on Afag and those ones, he's always on attack.
Is that so?
I know when to check myself.
But you know now he wants a position, so he has to behave well. When he's on the press conference,
I see.
Oh, this gentleman.
I see. Oh, that
it's a slow burner.
That is giving me a wrong impression.
Oh no, but he's a gentleman.
All
right, so that means for now.